All right, what is going on, guys? Should be live now. Here to a little bit early in the day to talk about the six-game NBA slate. So let me again tweet it out really quick, um, and then we can get into it. All right, let me. I probably should have Fantasy Labs up here right now. So, was a really good day for me yesterday. Again, I went lighter. I told you guys that though, full disclosure. But really solid day. Again, Fox and Luca as more contrarian spend ups. They went off. I did make a last second change though and pivoted off of Kelly O and Brogdon because I really wanted to get Dragic in there. Now Dragic outperformed Brogdon, but unfortunately I went to Zach Collins. Now I think this was a mistake. I should have just ate the salary and played Kelly O. I knew he was the better play, but I had a little bit more salary left over, so I went up to get Collins. Again, I think I made a mistake there. Still was a really good day, but could have won thousands of dollars, like 5 to 10K. So a little bit tilted about that, to be honest. But that's the way it goes sometimes in DFS for sure. So gotta just have a short memory. Let's see, Jake Anderson, $5 is more, or that came from Super Chat. Thank you, really, man. I know you had a huge night. So congrats on winning 8K. I saw. But yeah, I mean, you're coming to the $5 super chats every single day. Cannot thank you enough for that. You've really supported the stream. So thank you again, man. But all right, so got about 30 or so minutes to go over this, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker. If you guys are new to the live stream, new to the channel, what we're going to do is go over news that we have today, look at the Vegas numbers, and then go player or team by team breakdown, cash plays, GPP plays, who I'm liking, who I'm not liking, and then answer questions you guys have at the end. I'll try to save about 10 minutes for questions. So again, I'm trying to go quick here, talk fast. So Michael Carter-Williams, doubtful. Not huge news, but he was getting decent run in that rotation. Dwight Howard being questionable, I think, is really big news. If he's out, I think JaVale McGee is one of the top value plays. Now, that game is a later game. I think it's the 6 o'clock Eastern game. So, yeah, we might not get that news. We're probably not going to get before lock for the main slate. Joe Harris, probable. LeVert, probable. Again, Allen was only resting, so it looks like he's back as well. I think he's one of the top plays of the day for his price. Jarrett Allen, that is. Jamal Crawford rule out. We expect that. Brandon Clark starting for Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he's going to be very popular. I think with him now in the starting lineup, we probably get 30 minutes from him. Now, sure, they have other wings they can use, right? They have Slow-Mo. They have Josh Jackson. Gorgie Jang might get some run. A little bit backing up JV and Brandon Clark. But with him starting, I feel a little bit safer about targeting him. Again, MCW just got ruled out there as well. So let's go over the odds here. My laptop's a little shaky. There we go. Something. Hold on. Okay, I think we're good. All right. So let's go over the some of the Vegas odds here. So we have, again, first game of the day, Memphis and Utah, a 219.5 over under. Utah 5.5 point favorites. 76ers, Wizards, 229 over under. 76ers are 10.5 point favorites. We have the Nuggets, the Spurs, 227 over under. Nuggets are 3.5 point favorites. Again, we have Jamal Murray's status up in the air. Could open up some value there for Denver. OKC, LA, 218 over under. Lakers are 6 point favorites. Again, Dwight Howard is questionable. I think that's really big news because I would really like JaVale McGee if Howard's out. Toronto and Orlando, a 223 over under. The Raptors are 7.5 point favorites. And then the late night hammer here, Nets, Celtics. I think you want exposure to this game. This is probably my favorite game to target. A 225.5 over under. The Celtics are 8.5 point favorites. Sure, there's a little bit of blowout risk, but a guy like Jarrett Allen I think looks amazing first price. I don't even mind LeVert. And on the other side, Boston with no Kemba. Like everyone looks pretty solid. Tatum, Brown, Hayward. I think Marcus Smart is in play. People have asked me about Brad Wanamaker. I'm probably not going to go there because Brad Stevens just has so many guys he can use. And Brad Wanamaker chalk never seems to work out. So let's see. Let's get into the team by team breakdown. So we'll start with Memphis here. Again, big news. No Triple J. He's out for the season. That's tough news. He was playing really well for Memphis, but that's going to open up some value here. So the direct beneficiary obviously is Brandon Clark at 4.6. He's going to start now. I think we probably get 30 to 32 minutes would be my best guess here. Sure, not necessarily the best matchup, but he's a solid point per minute guy, and the minutes should go up. He's going to be very popular. I don't think he's necessarily a must play. I think you could look for pivots off him in GPPs, but I think he's a pretty good cash game play. Again, we know he's going to be, in my opinion, pretty popular. John Morant and JV, I think, look interesting for contrarian plays, again, GPP plays. Ja had a terrible shooting day. He shot 5 of 21, but still, he shot the ball 21 times. He played 39 minutes. Now, again, Utah is not necessarily the best matchup, but no Triple J, that's a little bit more usage to go around. John Morant's already playing big minutes. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. I don't mind going to Ja in GPPs. I don't think he's a cash game play at 8K, but GPPs I have interest, and JV at 7.4. He could pick up a few extra minutes here with no Triple J. He played 30 minutes the last game, and that's good to see. JV is a really solid point per minute guy, so I have interest there. I think he's fringe cash game viable, right? Because he's such a good point per minute guy. He has been some foul trouble here last couple of games, but I have interest in JV. I have interest in Ja. I think Ja is more just a GPP play. JV, I think, is fringe cash game play at 7.4. The issue is that we do have a lot of solid center plays, right? You have an Embiid and Jokic at the top. You have Jarrett Allen, I think, looks amazing at 5.4. And then you have a guy like JaVale McGee if Dwight Howard is out, and then maybe even like Cantor. But again, those minutes are a little bit more up in the air. So that's a tricky part there with center. Again, there's a lot of solid plays. I'm not going to get to Brooks or the wings, Slow-Mo, or Josh Jackson. I don't think we have to do it. And Gorgie Jang, I think, might get in the rotation here. We'll probably get 15 minutes. The issue is he's not mid-price. Like, I could see taking a shot on him in GPPs if he was mid-price and hoping for, again, that 15 to 18 minutes. But at 4.1, I would just rather get to Clark, who's starting, and the minutes are confirmed. That's really it there for Memphis. Again, Clark, I think, is the top play for cash games. I think he's going to be very popular. I have interest in JV. I think he's fringe cash game, also GPP playable. And then John Morant and 8K, I don't mind as a contrarian option for GPPs. On the Utah side, let's move on. So, Gobert at 7.3. There's too many good center plays for me to go to Gobert at that price. Mike Conley is, I think, not going to be that popular, but I like him a lot at 5.8. I know the price is slowly getting up there, but a revenge spot against Memphis. I'm not scared of Memphis defensively, and the minutes have been really secure for him, like 34 to 35 minutes a game. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Clarkson's minutes were limited. Again, that was because he was shooting so bad, but I think the minutes are locked in for Conley, locked in for Donovan Mitchell. Again, a great matchup, too, for Utah. So I like Conley a good amount here, 5.8. I think he goes a little bit under the radar, but I do really like him there. Mitchell, 7.5, I like as well. It's just, I would rather get to Mike Conley for about $2,000 cheaper. I don't mind Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, he's the better player. He's the guy that has a little bit more upside, but you're going to have to pay a couple $1,000s more for him. So both are in play. Again, I would slightly give the edge to Conley, though, for his discount. Ingles and O'Neal, I'm going to go to Ingles if you're going to make me pick a forward. Again, I know he hasn't been playing as well, but he's the guy the better offensive player. He's only shot the ball 6 and 5 times, which is a little bit surprising. I think Joe Ingles still has upside if he's shooting well, right? 40 fantasy point upside, in my opinion, if he's shooting the ball well and shooting more. So a little bit of interest there. Clarkson at 4.7 is an interesting, super low on play. Again, he shot the ball 13 times, was 2 of 13. That's why the minutes were limited. I think he's shooting well. Like, he could extend it to 25 to 30 minutes, but at 4.7, I definitely not something I could get to for cash games. And that's really it for Utah. So let's move on to Philly and Washington. On the Philly side, I think Embiid at 10.4 looks decent here, even at a 10.4K price point. Great spot here against Washington. There is slight concern that that there is a blowout. But yeah, I think Embiid, if you have the salary, is fine. Again, 10.4, you're definitely not getting him at a discount. I think Jokic will eat up more ownership at a similar price for about $700 less. But still of interest there in Embiid. Again, we know the upside is through the roof. We saw it 2 games ago. We went for 81 fantasy points. And this, again, is a great spot. So of interest there in Embiid. Ben Simmons, to me, I kind of like as a contrarian play. He was terrible that last game because he was in foul trouble. He fouled out in 25 minutes. I mean, normally in close games, we're going to get about 38 minutes from Ben Simmons. And Washington is one of the best possible spots. I just don't think he gets any ownership, but I like him for GPPs. Again, I like playing guys that do it all, rebounds, assists, score the ball. So I don't know if I'd go there for cash. You're definitely not really getting him at a huge discount, but I kind of like the upside there for GPPs, and I think he goes low owned. Again, I'm not going to pay 8.6 for Tobias. He's been solid, but I'll let others chase. Al Horford, there's no way I'm getting a 6.6 for him. The other players, I'm not going to get to Shake Milton or Josh Richardson. I know it's a good matchup, but there's just too many better plays at similar prices. So let's move on to Washington. Again, I mentioned the blowout risk. There is some chance that these guys get limited. Thomas Bryant at 6'8". If I knew he could stay out of foul trouble, I would have a good amount of interest at 6'8", but I'm very, very worried Embiid gets him in foul trouble. I'm going to pass. I think there's better center options on the slate. Rui at 5'7", the price is coming down, but still, I'm probably not going to go there. I would rather get Detroit Brown at 5'5". I think we'll get some ownership here. I think he was in foul trouble again that last game, so normally we're probably going to get 35 minutes from Troy Brown in a close game. He's been doing it all, rebounds, assists, scoring the ball, so I like Troy Brown at 5'5", even in a tougher spot. I think he's a pretty solid play. Shabazz, I'm going to pass. Ish Smith, it is a revenge game, 4-8. Had a bad game the last game. Again, the minutes are a little bit more up in the air with him and Shabazz kind of splitting the run. Slight interest there in GPPs for bounce back spot, but definitely not something I'll go to for cash. Robinson, again, interesting contrarian pivot off of Troy Brown Jr., but that's about it. Would not go there for cash games. So I think that's really it for Washington. Let's move on to Denver and San Antonio. So Denver, the big news right now is Jamal Murray. His status is up in the air. We have no Will Barton, no Gary Harris. Let me refresh Fantasy Lab, see if we got any more news here. I'm assuming no, but we can see. No, not yet. So if Jamal Murray's out, that's obviously a big boost. Monte Morris gets the biggest minutes boost, right? He'll probably play 35 or so minutes. Michael Porter Jr. Was amazing the last game, but the first game was in foul trouble. 6'2" does kind of feel like a lot for him, but I think he's in play. It's kind of tricky which Michael Porter Jr. we're going to get, right? So obviously we know the upside's there. The price is coming up. I still think Michael Porter Jr. is in play. Again, Murray, if he's out, I think Monte Morris is viable. He played huge minutes, 39 minutes. The first game was in foul trouble, so don't be too worried there. I would have some interest in Monte Morris as a cheaper option. Jamal Murray, if he plays and is not going to be limited, I think he's definitely in play at 7-3, but we'll see. Again, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. That does worry me. And then Jokic at the top at 9-7. I think he's going to get a lot of ownership today. Played 39 minutes, 66 fantasy points. Just be warned, right? There's just games. I know it's a great matchup. Everything's looking good. Possibly Jamal Murray out too. Just Jokic is a very frustrating roster. I'm telling you that. I would not be surprised if he played this game and got 35 fantasy points. But I would not be surprised if he had 70 fantasy points. There's just games where he takes over and games where he defers offensively. So very frustrating roster. I think he will garner ownership. I like him. It's just, which Jokic are we going to get here today? I actually have some interest in Paul Millsap at 5-1. Not my favorite play, but like 35 minutes that last game. If Jamal Murray's out, I would have a little bit more interest there. Again, not like their go-to guy, but he is a solid scorer. And if he's going to play 35 minutes, I have a little bit of interest there in a good matchup. But that's really it. I'm not going to get to Torrey Craig or Jeremy Grant. Again, I would rather get to Millsap if you're going to make me pick one of those forwards for Denver. So let's move on to San Antonio. The Spurs are a team not super excited about today. DeRozan's 8-3. We've gotten games where DeRozan has just done nothing offensively. In that last game where he kind of took over, which DeRozan are we going to get? 8-3, not really a discount, so I'm going to stay away. I think there's better plays for the prices. I would much rather get to Tatum at a similar price. Murray and White are interesting plays. They're going to go low-owned. The minutes went down in them last game, but again, that was a back-to-back. I think normally we probably get 32 to 34 minutes from these guys. Again, I like them for GPPs, not cash game plays. There's always a chance you get popped, too. You're never going to feel comfortable targeting San Antonio guys. I'm not going to 5-6 for Rudy Gay. Jakob Perdomo to pass, too worried about the foul trouble. He's been in foul trouble back-to-back games. Walker and Keldon Johnson's prices are up. I'll pass, and that's really it for me for San Antonio. Let's move on to OKC and LA. OKC, no Schroeder still, so SGA I think is one of the top plays of the day at 6-7. I know he kind of burned people last game, was in foul trouble. I'm not worried about it. The matchup, again, not necessarily the best, but with Schroeder out, his usage goes way up. I just think he's too cheap. He should be about 7,500, so I like SGA a lot there. Chris Paul certainly in play too if you want to get to Chris Paul instead of SGA for a little bit, to differentiate yourself a little bit. Again, both these guys have to do a lot more offensively. Both should play big minutes like we saw that last game against Denver. Gallinari, I don't know what happened here. Billy Donovan only played him 24 minutes in regulation. That worries me. Normally Gallinari is a guy that's going to play 32 minutes. If I knew Gallo was going to play 32 minutes, I would like him a good amount at 5-7, no Schroeder. But right now, after that, the first game, 19 minutes, again, that was a blowout. But still, the minutes aren't huge right now in Gallo. So I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm just a little bit worried with, how the rotation's working. 24 minutes in the regular time is not good. Right, we want 32, 34 minutes from Gallo. So, sure, he could get extended this game. You never know, but it just makes me uneasy. So, I don't think I would go there for cash. I think he's viable in GPPs. Again, if he hits the high end of the minutes, if he plays 32 to 34 minutes, I think he could absolutely crush the salary. It's just going off last couple games hasn't been great. Adams and Noel, again, I don't think we have to do it. Adams did get extended a little bit that last game, but there's just too many good center plays in my opinion. Noel's always in play as like a dart throw cheap play. He's going to play 15 to 20 minutes, but I think there's better value on this slate. Hamidou Diallo, if you're going to make me pick a value play for OKC, I guess it would be him with no Schroeder, but really my main interest there is the two guards, CP3, SGA. I prefer SGA first price. Then Gallo's in play for GPPs too, again, if he gets extended. But that's really it. Let's move on to the Lakers. So Lakers, the big news right now is the availability of Dwight Howard. And that's huge news in my opinion. Let me just take a sip of water here. Again, I'm kind of talking fast, guys. Sorry about that. But running on slightly limited time here. So Howard questionable. Again, this is huge news. Wasn't playing big minutes, but 15 or so, 15 to 17 minutes. Those minutes would most likely just go to JaVale McGee. Now, sure, they could run AD a little bit at the 5, but McGee's a solid point per minute guy. I know he only had one fancy point that last game in 14 minutes. That's an outlier. Like JaVale McGee is normally like a point per minute guy. If we expect like 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes from McGee, again, I really, really like him for value here at 3.7. So this is something we'll have to monitor for sure. Again, if Dwight Howard gets ruled out, I really do like JaVale McGee. With LeBron and AD both priced up now at 10.7 and 10.3, I think they're fine if you land on them. It's just, what do you have to sacrifice to get them in? Right now, I really like the balanced approach, so that's kind of the way that I'm going. But if you get to LeBron, if you get to AD, that's fine. Again, AD had the huge game last time. I think he'll be more popular for sure. If you're going to make me pick, I would give the edge to LeBron. I think he goes lower owned. We haven't really seen an upside game from LeBron. Maybe this is the one since returning, obviously. So with the two spin ups for the Lakers, personally, I'm probably not going to get there. But I get it if you go to one of them. Again, it's just what do you have to sacrifice to get them in? Kuzma's minutes have been going up. Now, Sharp only played 25 the last game, but 4-3, I just think is okay. Normally, it's someone I get to if like LeBron or AD is out. And then the value, I don't want to go there with the value guards, really. Like Caruso and Dion Waiters if you made me pick, but I'm not super excited about that. So really, again, the big news is Dwight Howard. If he misses, I love McGee for value. 2 games left here, Toronto and Orlando. So Toronto, the prices are all up. I know they've been playing really well. The rotation's tight, basically an 8-man rotation. The starters are getting big minutes. Van Fleet played like 40 and 42 minutes the first couple games. I'm not getting to Ibaka at 6K. I'm not getting to OG at 5.5. No way for Powell at 5.3. Marc Gasol's a shell of his former self. The price is somewhat appealing, but I prefer other center plays on the slate. Lowry and Siakam at 8.4 and 8.8. Against Orlando. And this game in general just doesn't look that good, so I'm not going to go there. Van Fleet would be the one guy I would consider just because 40 and 42 minutes. Would not expect 36 fantasy points from him, but I think he's in consideration at 7.7. Again, not my favorite price, but he'd probably be the one guy I'd look to, and that's really it. Let's move on to Orlando. So no Jonathan Isaac is pretty big news, right? He was a guy not playing huge minutes, but a high-usage guy out of that offense coming off the bench. Vucevic at 8.1, I think makes for an interesting contrarian play. Again, the matchup not necessarily the best, but he's a guy that I would not be surprised if he went for 50, 60 fantasy points. So 8.1, again, no Isaac. I think that's a slight boost to Vucevic. More of a contrarian play, though, for me because there's so many good center options. Aaron Gordon at 7.2, kind of my same analysis. I would rather get to Vooch. I think the upside is a little bit higher. Ross, I'm going to pass on at 5.2. Fournier at 5.2, I think is in play. I think we get about 30, 32 minutes. Again, he had a bad shooting day. He is scoring dependent. That's why I don't like playing him. But if his shot's falling, he could go for 40 in this matchup. So I think he's okay, but the reason why I don't like playing Fournier, again, is he's a little bit more scoring dependent, but I think he is viable. Now, Fultz and Augustine will get some more run if no Michael Carter-Williams. I don't know if I want to get to either, though. Augustine at 4.4, Fultz at 4.8. I don't think we have to. Like, if you're going to make me pick those point guards, I would go Fultz. I think he has a little bit more upside, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. And lastly, James Ennis has actually been getting more run, even in closer games. He got 27 that last game. So if you want like a super dart throw, a super punt, I think he's okay. But again, not really like overly excited about playing James Ennis. So that's it for Orlando. Let's move on to Brooklyn, Boston. So real quick, guys, if you enjoy the live stream, if you enjoy the content, would appreciate if you could leave a like button on the live stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Closing in on 4K subs. So yeah, with all free content, that's the easiest way to support me right now, guys. But all right, let's get into this last game. And this is a game I want a lot of exposure to. I really do. I think this is a late night hammer. You're going to want a couple pieces for sure. Now, yeah, there is a little bit of blowout risk, right? 8.5 point spread, but I just love this game. So LeVert at 7.8, I like a good amount. Looks like he's gonna be good to go. He shot the ball 25 times that last game against Washington, 39 minutes. I think we get more of the same from Lillard. I think 35 to 40 minutes. I think we get a lot of shot attempts. Now, sure, the matchup not necessarily the best, but I like LeVert still at 7-8. I think his upside is really, really high. Definitely not getting to Tyler Johnson or Garrett Temple. Not even Joe Harris. I know he had a decent game the last game, but he's just too score independent. Would much prefer getting to Jarrett Allen at the exact same price. He is my favorite play of the day right now. If he stays out of foul trouble, he's going to play 35 plus minutes. 5.4K is just way too cheap. He should be like 7.5K. So yeah, love Jarrett Allen here at that price. I think he should crush his salary as long as there's no foul trouble or blowout. Not going to Chioza or TLC. Everyone else is basically a stay away from me. So it's Jarrett Allen, who I love, and I like LeVert as a contrarian option. Again, I think he goes a little bit lower owned. Lastly, let's talk about Boston here. So Boston's team, normally I don't like targeting Boston, but when one of their players are out, that's where I'll hop on. Kemba is going to be out resting this game today. Played 27 minutes that last game. Those minutes, that production has to go somewhere. I really like the top three guys here with Tatum, Hayward, Brown. I would probably rank them for their prices, Brown, Tatum, then Hayward, but I think all three are in play. I think you can play at least one, maybe two. Again, there is some chance this game could blow out, but really do like the upside here in a good matchup. Brooklyn plays no defense, so love Tatum, love Hayward, love Brown, and I think you play at least one of those guys. The minutes are going to be there for them, but the usage should go up. Marcus Smart at 6'5", I think it's fine. I would rather get to the three guys I mentioned above. No, sure, he'll play a little bit of point guard, so the upside will go up, but 6.5K, you're not really getting him at a discount, so I'd not be surprised if Marcus Smart still gets you there. I would just prefer getting to the wings. Tice, I'm going to pass at 5'2". Cantor intrigues me at 3'7". We know like Jarrett Allen's going to play big minutes. I could see Cantor playing 15 to 20 minutes. If that's the case, I could see him getting you there. It's just Brad Stevens does not like playing Enes Kanter for some reason, so there's no guarantee with the minutes. Like, I would not be shocked if you played 8 minutes today. So that's the rest of Cantor. Obviously, if it's a high end of the minutes limit, I think, or minutes range, I think he could crush that salary. Wanamaker's a guy a couple people have asked me about. I just don't want to do it. I don't. The minutes, I don't know if they'll go up necessarily. Boston has a lot of guys that can use. Is Javonte Green? I actually don't know if he's on. I think he's still on the roster, but they have like him, Carson Edwards, Tremont Waters, Langford, Grant Williams could get in the rotation. Semi Ojeleye will play some minutes. So I don't want to play Brad Wanamaker. Brad Wanamaker chalk has never worked out. I think if you need that punt, it's okay, right? Wanamaker should play about 25 minutes, and he is min price, but I don't know if we have to. I don't know if we have to do it. I don't. So yeah, if you land on Wanamaker, I get it, but it's just not gonna be the way that I go. Just because again, I think Brad Stevens has a lot of guys you can use. This is kind of like the Rick Carlisle rotation that I mentioned. When people got to DeLon Wright, people got to Trey Burke, I was like, pump the brakes, guys. You can use J.J. Barea, Cleveland. That's what he did. This is the same situation. I'm not confident Brad Wanamaker gets way more minutes, so I'm going to pass. I get it. He's min price, but that's a chalk I will fade. So that really wraps it up, guys. Again, I know that's quick. We got about, I'll stand for another 10 minutes for questions, and then I'll get out of here. Let me refresh Fantasy Labs one more time, and then let's get to some questions. So, all right, let's do it. Let me go over to Draftkings. Let's get to some questions here. Allen and Clark are the highest owned. Yeah, let's see. 151,000 crowns is unbelievable. Yeah, I probably should use those crowns. Everyone always tells me that. Tatum is hard to fade, no cap. I mean, yeah, I want Boston exposure. I want at least one of those wings today. My lineup is so chalk with Embiid, Allen, Clark, Tatum, LOL. Nothing wrong with playing chalk. Chalk is chalk for a good reason. If you get different in one or two spots, though, for GPPs, I think that's probably the way to go. And it's great, better than Wanamaker. They're similar to me. Both, I think, get 20, 25-ish minutes. Both are lower usage guys. So, yeah, they're both okay. Today's the day for a trip to Waiters Island. Hey, I mean, I think Waiters and Caruso would be the value guards I would consider. Still don't have a great feeling, though. Gordon or Porter Jr. Gordon or Porter Jr. Oh, are you talking about Aaron Gordon? I would probably go Porter Jr. if Jamal Murray's out. Now, if Jamal Murray plays, maybe Aaron Gordon. Marcus Smart is a dog. He can get 60 fantasy points any day. Yeah, he can. I would not be surprised, again, if Marcus Smart gets you there. I just like the pricing a little bit better on those wings. LeVert or Mitchell for cash, that's a tricky one. I do like both. I'm gonna go Levert, but that's a close one. I think I'm gonna fade Wanted too. He never comes through when I play him. Can you give your boy a shout out? Yeah, shout out to Scott Anderson. Let's go. Core 4. Yeah, I'll give you guys a core 4. So it's going to be a chalky core. Again, normally I try to get chalky plays in here. So we'll go Allen. We'll go, let's see. Let me look at my lineup real quick. Okay. Let's go Allen and Tatum. Again, I want exposure to that last game. I think those two guys look really solid. I'm going to say JaVale McGee right now. And again, that is assuming Dwight Howard is out. If Dwight Howard plays, I don't want to play JaVale McGee. So that is dependent right now on Dwight Howard news. Obviously, me playing the two cheap centers doesn't let me get to Embiid and Jokic. That worries me a little bit. But I would just love the upside in these two guys. Again, McGee, only play him if Dwight Howard's out. Do not play him if Dwight Howard plays. And lastly, I will go. I'll go SGA here. I think he's a really, really solid play with no Schroeder. I know the matchup not necessarily the best, but he's going to play the big minutes. I like him at 6'7". So there you go. Again, for core 4. Again, McGee though is dependent on Dwight Howard status. Do you like Brown or Tatum more? That's a tricky one. I'm playing both. I will go Brown for his price, but I do really like both those guys. Donovan Mitchell and Ennis, or Van Fleet and Diallo. I'll go Donovan Mitchell and Ennis. Royce O'Neal. Yeah, not super excited about Royce. Mo Wagner's minutes have been a little bit up and down. I think he's an interesting GPP play. Wanamaker, 25 DK points. Could see it. I could. But again, my worry is they have a lot of guys you can use. O'Neal's literally Draymond for DFS. He's a peripheral monster. Yes, but I don't know if he keeps that level of production up. We've seen some, like Royce O'Neal play 40 minutes and get like 10 fancy points. So I know he's been good since coming back to the bubble, but I don't feel great about it. I'm fading Brad. Want to lose my money when I play him. Any word on Jared Allen? I saw the other Nets got probable. Didn't see him. Yeah, I mean he's off the injury list, so he's full go. Let's see. He was the only out for rest. Yeah, Norman Powell. No, thank you. Core just posted the core. Wanamaker's so bad at playing basketball. He's not great. I mean, if you do a Twitter search, Brad Wanamaker, the Celtics fans hate him. They really think he should not be in the rotation. So, right? They're conceding the game to Milwaukee and then Giannis Milton. Yeah. Jokic or Vucevic. Jokic for cash, Vucevic for an interesting GPP pivot. Thoughts on TLC and Troy Brown? No interest in TLC with the guys from Brooklyn back. Troy Brown, I like. I think he probably gets 35 minutes in a close game. There is some blowout risk, but he's a guy that's been filling up the stat sheet. So I like Troy Brown at 5'5". He's probably my favorite Washington Wizard. AD, LeBron, or Embiid for cash. Worried about minutes for limit Lakers stars. I did hear something about that, like Lakers possibly could limit their starters with AD, LeBron. So that is something to keep an eye on too. Again, I don't know if that's for sure going to happen, but if that would be the case, then obviously a guy like Kuzma would become a lot more viable. So we'll see. Of those three, I think Embiid. I just like the matchup a little bit better there. Yeah, making sure they aren't resting him again. Is Ben Simmons worth a play? I like Ben Simmons. I think he's going to go super low owned. He had a bad game last game because of foul trouble, but I like the upside. The worry is, again, with the Philly game, there is some blowout risk for sure. Washington, not very good. Assuming it was just because it's back-to-back. Best shooting guard under 5,700. Best shooting guard, 5,700. Let's see. Troy Brown. If you don't have Troy Brown, or if you already have Troy Brown, then it gets a little tricky. Probably Ingles or Fournier, but definitely Troy Brown there. I have Royce in my lineup. Oh no. I mean, I don't think Royce is terrible. I really don't. Where is Utah? He's what, 5? Where is he? He's 5K. He has been doing it all. This is a tricky one for me, again, because earlier in the year, he was just like not a very high usage guy. I don't know. That one I'm a little undecided about. I'm fine if you get to Royce. I don't think he's a bad play. I really don't. We know he's not a good offensive player. So that's the only thing that does worry me a little bit. Jaylen Brown or SGA, that is a really tough one. I'll go Brown because of the matchup. But yeah, I'm liking a core of Allen, Levert, Tatum, and SGA. Yeah, I like that a lot too. Upside of Morant. I like Morant for GPPs. I think he goes a little bit lower owned today, but I do like Ja. He shot the ball 21 times, had a bad shooting day, but I think the upside is obviously there. How do you feel about Millsap and Jokic in the same lineup? I think that's doable. Now that would be assuming Jamal Murray's out. Jamal Murray's in. I don't know if I would get to both of them. So cash game locks. Yeah, again, I think it's Allen, one of those Boston guys, Tatum or Brown or even Hayward. I'm go Tatum, McGee if Dwight Howard's out, and then a guy like SGA. I think that looks pretty solid for cash. Morant or Simmons. I'm gonna go Ben Simmons. I like the matchup a little bit better. Again, I think he goes low owned. Ben Simmons. I don't know if he's a cash game play, but I like Ben Simmons today. I think he just goes low owned. Good call. Forgot about Brooklyn players returning. Yep. My line right now, SGA, White, Tatum, Clark, Allen, Van Fleet, Royce, and Smart. Yeah, that's fine with me. TBJ, Tice, or O'Neal for cash. Wait, TBJ, for some reason, I'm not thinking, who is TBJ? Oh, Troy Brown Jr. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would go Troy Brown Jr. there. Hey, DK, thanks for the insight. Really do enjoy it. Hey, thanks, Cameron. Conley Revenge Game versus Memphis. I'm playing Conley. Full disclosure, I'm playing Mike Conley. I like his upside. I don't think he's going to go that high owned, but do really like him today. Thoughts on John Morant off last game? I like Ja as a GPP play. Ish Smith. Yeah, Ish Smith Revenge Game. The thing that worries me with Ish is the minutes right now. You getting any exposure to the early game? I am. I have Mike Conley and Brandon Clark in the early game. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Morant should be decent, but the Jazz are decent defensively. Yeah, I mean, again, Morant's going to play huge minutes, going to shoot the ball a ton. So thoughts, DK? Conley, Mitchell, Tatum, Clark, Jokic, Troy Brown, Ennis, and Allen. Good with it. You don't have any Boston guys. Oh, you do have Tatum. Okay, yeah, I think that's solid. Would you like a double Brown lineup, Jalen and Troy? Yes, I do. I like both Browns today. I feel like Clark is a must-play in DK regardless of ownership. Thoughts? I don't know if he's a must. I don't. Because he will be playing, a little bit more obviously alongside Ja and JV. Ja and JV are super high usage guys in the offense. Like, that's where the offense comes from. So I could see, again, Clark deferring offensively a bit to Ja, to JV. Worries me a little bit playing alongside higher usage guys, but the minutes should go up. And if you place him back up 5, that's obviously a +2. Tatum and Embiid in the same lineup, I'm good with it. Do you think we'll get Dwight news? No, we won't. So, yeah, you're going to have to make some tough calls there, obviously. Van Fleet, Lowry, Hayward, Brown, pick 2. Hayward and Brown for me. Embiid or Simmons, I know this is a contrarian take probably, but I'm going to go Ben Simmons over Embiid for the price. I like the discount in Ben Simmons. I think he goes low on Monty Morris and Murray's out. I think Monty Morris is in play. But 39 minutes last game with Jamal Murray out. It's a good matchup. So I have interest in Monty Morris. I'm playing Bull, and cash. Oh boy, Bull. Conley Revenge Game. Yeah, again, I like Mike Conley. And any interest in Clarkson? Just a dart throw in GPPs. He's going to be like 1% owned after letting a lot of people down. Shot the ball terribly last couple games, but we saw the upside in the first game he played, right? He had a huge game. If his shot's falling, he can get you 30-plus fantasy points. So a little slight interest as a dart throw in GPPs. John Morant, NK, he's priced right, in my opinion. Thoughts on Embiid? Embiid seems priced about right, too, but it's a great matchup. Slight bullet risk there. Again, that is my concern with targeting that Washington Philly game is there is a decent chance it does blow out. Bull, which Taco Fall is supposed to be. Thoughts on Rui, GPP? Slight interest. I prefer Troy Brown at a similar price. I'm personally scared of Clarkson. Seems like he's trending the wrong direction. I agree. Again, he is scoring dependent too, so if his shot's not falling, low floor, and the minutes have been going down on him. What about LeVert? I like LeVert a good amount as a contrarian play. I don't think he's going to be that high owned, but should get 35-plus minutes in not necessarily the best spot, but he's going to shoot the ball a ton. I think Ja's a decent GPP play. Again, Ja for GPP. If you're going to make me pick, though, with like Ja and LeVert, it's definitely going to be LeVert for me. Any interest in Joker over Embiid? Yeah, I mean, I think Jokic will be a lot more popular than Embiid. So I have interest in Jokic. Now, if Jamal Murray plays, that's a slight downgrade to Jokic for sure. If Jamal Murray's out, Jokic does have huge upside. Still on Derek White. I think Derek White's okay. DeJounte Murray's okay. I'm personally not playing either, but they should get 30-plus minutes. I think they go low-owned, so I do have interest there. Any Spurs guard in LeVert or Ennis and Embiid? I'll go with a Spurs guard and LeVert there. Do you like Grayson Allen? I didn't talk about Grayson Allen. I know he's been decent recently. The minutes have been going up on him. Where is he? He's 4.3 though. So if he was like min price, I would have interest. I'm not paying 4.3K for Allen. I'll let others chase there. So no, I'm rolling Murray over White. Yeah, I mean both Murray and White have been solid. There's again what you're gonna hand to if you play one of those guys. There's a chance you get popped. You just never know. Grayson a baller. Yeah, he's been playing solid. I'm not gonna go there. Thoughts on Troy Brown? I like Troy Brown a good amount. LeVert or SGA? That's a tough one. I'll go SGA first price, but I like both a lot. I have about one more minute, guys, and then I got to get 1 or 2 more minutes. So I'll get your questions in, and then I got to get out of here, unfortunately. What game is less likely to blow up, Boston, Brooklyn, or Sixers, Wizards? I think Boston, Brooklyn is less likely to blow out, personally. I think Brooklyn is slightly better than Washington right now. Favorite Celtic wing? Tough question, to be honest. Probably Brown first price, but Tatum's the guy that has the most upside. Again, full disclosure, I'm playing both Brown and Tatum. Hayward, I think, goes a little bit low owned. If you want a contrarian pivot, I think Hayward looks interesting off of higher owned guys. In my opinion, I think Brown and Tatum will eat up more ownership. All right, last minute here, guys. Any questions? And then I'm going to get out here. Thoughts on Jerome Robinson? An interesting pivot in GBPs. I much prefer Troy Brown, though. I think his minutes are more secure. I think his upside's higher. All right, let me refresh Fantasy Labs one more time, just make sure we don't get any more news, and then I'm going to hop. Okay, nothing else that we've gotten. Which game? Okay, I already answered that. Thoughts on Drew? Okay, Cantor or Noel? Cantor for me. I like the upside a little bit more if he gets 20 or so minutes. Favorite small forward, power forward, 5,900 or under. Let me see. Small forward, power forward, 5,900 or under. So let me go forward. Get off that, 5,900. Yeah, see, there's not a lot here. It's going to be Troy Brown Jr. for me. Gallo, if he gets some minutes, but the minutes have worried me a bit. So Troy Brown or Gallo. Lastly, 3 picks for the PGA. Haha. Yeah, so PGA, I really like Abe Answer. Tony Finau's my boy. So I'll probably play those 2. I kind of like Adam Scott, too, first price. So those would be the 3 I would consider for PGA. I can't fit an SGA, but I have to go Wanamaker. Guess I'll just have to pray. I mean, I really don't think Wanamaker's a terrible play. It's just I like the balance approach today. So if you're going more stars and scrubs, I get it. If you go Wanamaker, if you go James Ennis, I get the play, right? You're trying to get those stars in your lineup. I just like the balance approach. Best value play, JaVale McGee if Dwight Howard's out. Wanamaker or Dort? I'll go Wanamaker there. Thanks, DK. Dort, big minutes last few games. I'll pass. Utility 6K or under. It's probably going to be Troy Brown for me again. But let's see. 6K utility. Well, I like Conley. I like Conley at 5'8". So Conley, Troy Brown, or Jared Allen if you don't already have them. That's the way I would go. Conley or Troy Brown, and appreciate the hard work, man. That's a tricky one because I'm personally playing both. I'll go Conley. I like the upside. I like the matchup a little bit better. Conley, Brown, Tatum, Clark, Allen, SGA, Simmons, McGee. We got the same lineup. All right. I'm leaving out here, though. Thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a good day. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, it's important to do so. Try to answer questions if you guys ask over there. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you later.